You are watching My Daily Rants and Raves. This is Gary Kay, and of course we are doing our special ISE edition of the Daily Rants and Raves, and I am excited to be joined by Paul Ingebrigtsen. He's the president and CEO of Williams Sound. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just great. Getting ready for the show. Looking forward to some warmer weather.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be warmer over there. It's supposed to rain a little bit, but you know what? The show attendance is going to be awesome. In fact, I just had a conference call a couple of days ago with Mike Blackman, who, as you know, is in charge of the show, and he told me they're going to have record attendance. They have significantly higher pre-registration, and of course, they have the most exhibitors they've ever had, with over 900 exhibitors. So they're expecting to break last year's attendance record. So there's probably going to be in the 45,000 range. So you're going to have a lot of attention and a lot of people coming to your booth.
That's great. We're looking forward to it.
Well, we talked last week. For those of you who don't know, we did a podcast last week where Paul had talked about some of the new products. But today, I'd asked him to come back because today he's actually going to demonstrate them. So for the 45,000 people who are going to go to ISE, then you're going to see this live. But for those of you who aren't going to go to ISE, or you're considering going to ISE, or you're not sure who Williams Sound is, or you're interested in some of the new products that will be launched at the show, you're going to actually demonstrate or at least show two of the products you're going to be showing in your stand at ISE next week.
That's correct.
So I want you to start with I don't know if you want to start with the DigiDock or Digiloop first, or explain the whole system concept. I'll sort of hand it over to you, and you know your products better than anyone.
Sure. Well, Williams Sound been around for 37 years, and we've primarily been in the wireless hearing assistance business, and also in simultaneous language interpretation equipment, tour guide equipment. So why don't we start with our new DigiWave dock and the DigiWave product.
Okay.
The DigiWave is a wireless digital transmission system. We have a transceiver unit that looks like this, so these can be used to communicate with each other, two-way or one-way communication. And then this is a receive-only unit.
They look like the size of an iPod, like the iPod Nano kind of size.
Yeah,
they look
very
small.
Similar in size to an iPod.
Turn it to the side. How thick is it?
Yeah, very thin, lightweight design. And so this was designed as a portable system for guided tours. Tour guide would wear this unit. Group members could use this with headphones or earphones. And then if you want to be able to have question and answer with the audience, everyone uses the two-way unit. And there's a talk button on front, so you simply push the talk button, and that allows the audience to ask questions. Everyone in the audience would be able to hear the question, and then the tour guide can answer as well. The system also allows for team guides. You can have two guides doing a co-presentation, and everyone in the audience can actually hear both guides simultaneously. So as a portable system, it has a lot of different uses, very versatile product. And what we found after introducing it is customers wanting to connect it to other fixed equipment. So that's where the DigiDock product comes in.
Well, can I ask you a couple of questions real quick
Sure.
before you start? So I've done, for the last couple of years at Infocom, I've done my top 10 tour, which is live tours of the show floor, and we haven't had a two-way system. So if I were the tour guide and I were using this, when somebody wanted to ask a question, do I get notification that someone wants to ask a question? Do I hear a beep, or how do I know someone wants to ask a question?
Yeah, typically you hear a beep. What we tell the tour guides to do is still to follow a protocol with their group, much like you do with any other live presentation. Someone has a question, just raise their hand.
Gotcha.
The tour guide points at them, and that's their cue that, okay, you can hit your talk button, and it's okay to talk. If for some reason the tour guide doesn't want to allow the question and answer function, they simply press and hold their talk button, and then that locks all of the talk buttons in the group.
Okay.
If they need to recapture the floor, if they have someone who is abusing their talk button, the guide is always in control and
nice.
recapture.
Okay, good. All right, sorry. Go ahead. Go to the DigiDock and explain how that connects.
So, yeah, the DigiDock is a two-bay unit. Looks like this. And the transceiver and receiver units simply plug in. And then the tour guide points at them, and that's their cue that, okay, you can hit your talk button, and it's okay to talk. If for some reason the tour guide doesn't want to allow the question and answer function, they simply press and hold their talk button, and then that locks all of the talk buttons in the group.
Okay.
and this unit will charge them, and it will also continuously power them. And the easiest way to think about the dock's function is it basically turns these units into a base station. So when you plug the unit into the dock, on the back here you can see we've got, for each device, we've got inputs and outputs. So if you feed audio into the dock, that allows a transceiver to transmit it like a base station unit. If you take audio out of the dock, put a receiver in here, whatever signal it's receiving from portable units can then be fed to other equipment. So that could be a powered speaker, for instance, using the system like a presentation system, or in some cases connecting it to a teleconferencing or video conferencing system to add a portable component, and even in the case of connecting it to wired intercoms, if you want to add some portable two-way wireless units to a wired intercom.
So are the inputs and outputs line level, balanced, unbalanced? What are the specifications?
We've got line level inputs. We have balanced and unbalanced. The mode switches on the unit allow it to operate in an automatic mode.
Okay.
Put a unit into it, turns it on, it turns the talk button on, it assumes that you want it to operate like a base station.
Okay.
There's also a manual mode that lets you plug the unit in, and then you could manually transmit or not transmit.
Okay. So basically it takes a portable system and makes it for a fixed install, but still keeps it portable. All you have to do is lift the transceiver and transmitter out, and all of a sudden you've got a portable system again.
Right, yeah, so it has that versatility in the dock. It's working like a base station. Take it out of the dock, and now you can walk around and use it.
Nice.
So we'll be showing this product for the first time, demonstrating it at ISE this year.
And that's called DigiDock, DIGI-DOCK, DigiDock.
DigiWave dock.
DigiWave dock.
For
Okay.
trademark purposes, DigiWave dock.
Okay, so the wave indicates sort of wireless, so that makes sense.
Right, it's part of the DigiWave family,
okay.
And the latest generation of DigiWave equipment is DigiWave 2.0 version, and so the 2.0 products are all compatible with the dock.
Excellent. So tell me about Digiloop.
Yeah, the Digiloop is a new induction loop amplifier. And for people that aren't familiar with induction loop technology in general, it's basically a specialty amplifier, a current drive amplifier that drives a loop of wire that's placed around a room. And then listeners who have a hearing aid equipped with a telecoil pickup can just flip a switch on their hearing aid and hear the magnetic signal directly from the loop. So they don't need a receiver or any other equipment to be able to use that loop because they've already got a receiver in effect built into their hearing aid.
Right.
So this is fairly old technology, been around for a long time, and in fact Williams Sound first produced some induction loop products over 25 years ago. The marketplace has seen a renewed interest in induction loop systems, and so we were looking to reintroduce some loop products. And we took the opportunity a couple of years ago to say, well, what can we bring that's new and different to this market? So the Digiloop is kind of a complete rethink of what's a induction loop amplifier about, and how do we kind of bring it into the modern world. So it's a dual amplifier unit. There are two Class D amplifiers in here that are current drive for induction loops and can supply up to 10 amps RMS of current drive for each amplifier. The other thing that's unique about the Digiloop is we're making use of DSP control to control the amplifiers, but also to do all of the specialty signal processing. So there's a full matrix mixer capability in the product. There's automatic level control, there's equalization, there's metal compensation. All of these things are DSP controlled with a lot of flexibility. The other thing,
is the control networked, or how do you get into the DSP? Do you use a web browser, or you use an iPad, or what do you do?
Yeah, I'll show you that.
Okay.
Actually, you've got a couple of options. There is a display on the front of the unit. You can see here, and then we've got a control. So you've got full front panel control of the amplifier. The other thing that is unique about this is recognizing that kind of in the modern world of AV equipment, where we've got the convergence with IT equipment, most systems that are being designed now have network capabilities where all the equipment is being connected to a network and controlled, and they're all talking to each other. Induction loop systems and other hearing assistance systems have typically been kind of a bolt-on system, just an audio connection, and it lives in its own little world. And we recognize that you really need to be part of that connected world now with products that are coming onto the market. So this is the first induction loop amplifier that has a network connection and network control capability. So we've got an Ethernet connection on it as well as a USB connection. And then that connection does a couple of nice things for you. It allows, if you have multiple amplifiers in multiple facilities, locations like a courtroom or possibly a university campus, all of the amplifiers can be monitored and controlled from a central location via the network. We are also looking at how we made the system easier to install for an installer. Currently, the way that you set up and calibrate a loop system, you use a test signal, and then you have to go out into your loop area with a test meter and adjust levels until you get to a standard field strength that calibrates the system. So with current products, that means you're either running back and forth, taking measurements in the listening area, then going to wherever the amplifier is and tweaking and measuring, or it's a two-man job where you have to have someone at the amplifier and you're communicating with them. So by being able to connect to a network, we can make use of a wireless connection and then a portable device like a tablet. And I need to just log back in on this one here because we've
we went too long.
We went too long, and it did a timeout thing. And
well, while you're doing that, I have a couple of questions about it. So
sure.
The control you said is USB or network based. Is there also RS-232 control for like if you're using if you're also using an AMX or Crestron control system with a system like put in a house of worship or something like that?
Yes, the amplifier does have a RS-232 port. So you can plug, for instance, a network cable in, connect via Ethernet. If there is you want to use a laptop to adjust the system, you can just plug a USB cable in between the amplifier and the laptop. And then the third option is to use a portable device. So if you can hang on here just a second, I need to get to...
Take your time. So we're just to remind everybody, we're on this call with Paul Ingebrigtsen. Ingebrigtsen, sorry, it's a tough name to pronounce, but you're president and CEO of Williams Sound.
Right.
You guys are located in Minneapolis, for those people that aren't familiar with Williams Sound. Of course, you can go to williamsound.com. They're going to be over at the ISE show in Amsterdam next week, Integrated Systems Europe show, and you're going to be showing not only the Digidock, which turns a portable system two-way sort of tour guide system into and allows it to work in a permanent install, but also that we're now talking about the Digiloop product. And I could, where my church uses a Williams Sound product from, I don't know how old the product is, but it's been there a long time for hearing assistance for the application you're talking about, so that people can, if you're having a hard time hearing the presenter at the front or the pastor, then you can use an external ear device and you can hear. But what you're saying is that this is compatible with current hearing aids, so therefore you don't even need to have an external third party or a listening device with it.
Right. You have to have the right kind of hearing aid. Not
Sure.
all hearing aids have telecoils in them, although most that are being made and sold nowadays do. So for people that don't have a hearing aid or don't have the right type of hearing aid, we do make a loop receiver that works with the system as well.
Okay.
So much like the FM systems or the infrared systems, you would just pick up a receiver and listen with an earphone, and you can share the system with the people that have the hearing aids. So we're back up and running here with the tablet, and as you can see, this is a portable Surface type tablet, and we have a graphical user interface on here, and it's laid out very much like a matrix mixer. So anyone that's familiar with a mixer setup and operation would be able to look at this and easily figure out what they're supposed to do. So you have all of your inputs, mic inputs, line level inputs. There's also a 70 to 100 volt input for paging announcements that has priority when an announcement comes over that system. You have full control on the input of your equalization, your levels, and automatic level control. You can select the mode of the amplifier. Another unique feature is with the dual amplifier, we can run this as a single induction loop system.
Right.
We can run it as two phased array loops where you lay out two patterns on the floor typically, and then you run the two loops out of phase with each other, and that provides a more consistent listening signal, and it also reduces the overspill or leakage of the magnetic signal outside of the listening area. You could run two independent loops in two different rooms. And then as the last option, you can actually choose to run one of the amplifiers to drive a loop and the other amplifier to drive loudspeakers. So that will function as a 50-watt amplifier at 8 ohms. And in that configuration, in the right size room, a conference room, meeting room, classroom, the amplifier can actually become the primary sound system in the room because it will accept all of your normal audio inputs, it'll drive the loudspeaker, and it'll also drive the induction loop.
So if you have a kid, for example, in an elementary or middle school or even high school that needs hearing assistance, this could be not only the voiceless system for the instructor in the room, but also provide that as well at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So the nice thing with the portable operation, where I'm using the tablet here, is now if you go back to the scenario where you're the installer, what this allows you to do is go back into your listening area with your field strength meter, and now you can make all of your adjustments on your amplifier, your calibration signals, your calibration levels, checking your frequency response, making sure that the system is set up to meet the IEC spec. And you can do it all from right in the listening area. So you don't need to do the running back and forth. You don't need that second person to help you set up and calibrate the loop. So that really makes the job much easier and faster for the installer.
So are both these products shipping now? They're both available?
The Digiloop is shipping now. The DigiDock, we're just previewing it at the ISE show, and we anticipate that'll be shipping in March.
Okay, and so both of those products will be on your website if they aren't already now at williamsound.com, but are they both on your website now?
The Digiloop is on our website. The DigiDock will be going up in another day or two, but before the show.
Okay, good. And of course, we'll cover it all at on our dedicated web microsite for the show, which is at ravepubs.com/ISE 2011. Or of course, you can just go to ravepubs.com anytime and get to it, and you can just type in Williams Sound, and you'll see this recording up there, but all the products we've covered from Williams Sound over the last year, which has been a lot. You guys have had a great year. Your PR people have been busy. You sent a lot of good releases about case studies, which we really like. So thank you for that, and thanks for joining me today. You're going to be at ISE next week in Amsterdam, so I assume you're getting ready to get on an airplane just like we all are here in the next day or two.
Yeah, we are. We head out this weekend, get there a couple of days in advance, have some meetings set up and so on, but just anxious to show all of these new things on the show floor.
And I'll be coming to your stand and actually interviewing you there and showing those new products as well. So I'll see you there at the show on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of next week. and have a good flight. And thanks for joining us again today. I really appreciate it, Paul.
Thank you. We'll see you there.
And everybody's been watching a special ISE edition of our Videocast, Video Rants and Raves. Thanks for joining us today. We've been talking to Paul Ingebrigtsen of Williams Sound. He's the president and CEO of Williams Sound, and you can check them all out at williamssound.com. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.